Welcome everyone to the Icehouse podcast. I'm Bryar Stewart, the community manager, and today I am in Wellington, an in-person conversation with Nathan Roper. He's the owner and director of Horizon International and has been on our owner-manager program. So great to be in Welly, even though it was a bit of a bumpy ride in.
Life-threatening experience.
Life-threatening experience. But yeah, looking forward to having a chat about your business journey, Nathan. Like to start with some quick fire. Are you all good with that?
Yep, all good.
Okay, when are you most relaxed?
Most relaxed will be walking the dog. As you can see, we've got the beach across the road, and probably the most relaxing time of the day, whether it's the middle of the day or the end, is when you've got the dog, leave the phone in the office for a little bit of peace and quiet.
Love that. That's a great answer. Morning or night person?
Definitely night.
What are you reading or listening to right now?
As we're saying, I'm reading a couple of books at the moment for enjoyment. Wanted some of the John Grisham stuff or even some of the Simon Sinek. There is an Icehouse read called A Theory of Constraints, which I'm chewing my way through at the moment. Interesting stuff, but slightly less enjoyable.
Thanks for your honesty. First ever job?
First ever job was working for Horizon, because it's always been a family business. My father had me working holidays and after work and after school and everything else as part of the business.
Awesome. Room of 5 or 100 people?
A room of 5 for myself. I'm happily enough in a crowd, but with a smaller group of people, probably more at home.
Cool. Coffee order?
Something simple, latte, 1 sugar.
Nice. Good place, Wellington, for coffee?
Yeah, heaps of coffee places. There's more coffee places here than Shake a Stick at End. They're great coffees too. Really
good coffee. First place of travel on the list?
I think it will be Vietnam. Yeah, we've got doing a bit of business now out of Vietnam, so we're due to go before the end of the year. It's been a couple of years of lockdown, so we've been a couple of years between visits. Get back over, see some of the guys, see some of the factories.
Cool.
And of course, work a bit of entertainment in.
Yeah, love it. Nice. Okay. Oh, one app or tool you couldn't live without?
Sadly enough, it's the Air New Zealand app.
Oh.
Yeah, I do quite a bit of travelling around the country, and that thing's golden for moving flights, checking in, unchecking flights. So
yeah. It works, eh? It's a really good app.
Really good.
Yeah, nice. Cool. Okay, I would love if you could tell us a little bit about yourself, what your passions are, and what life looks like.
For me, for the last couple of years, I've been in the family business now for 20 years. A year or so ago, I purchased the business, and right at the moment, as per the course, I'm just trying to really get a bit more, I suppose, balance back, because I'm running a couple of hats. So it has been a pretty busy couple of years. Passions wise, I love surfing. I love getting out to the sun and the beach. During COVID, I actually purchased a half-price surf trip with a friend of mine in Indonesia.
Cool.
Yeah, fantastic. We didn't actually know if he'd be there after COVID, but as it turns out, they're still there. They're still accepting bookings, so come June next year,
cool.
That's where you'll find us.
Awesome. Good on you for still doing that. That's nice. What does your career journey look like? You mentioned, you've been in the family business.
I have been in the family business for a long time, but pre that, I actually went to Australia and I worked as a dive instructor for 5 years.
Oh wow, cool.
Yeah,
was it fun?
That's an amazing occupation.
Yeah.
The thing that killed it in the end was probably fun every day, but probably not enough mental stimulation, which is hard to believe. But it's for anyone thinking about it, you want to like a couple of years of enjoyment in your life, definitely.
Cool.
From there I came back, I actually studied IT.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I worked government for a couple of years doing IT support and desktop stuff.
What?
I know,
that blows my mind a little bit.
A little bit varied. Did a year in the UK doing the same occupation.
Cool.
And then got wooed back to the family business. Still as quite a young tackle, I think I must be part bogan being from the hut. My father offered me a V8 Holden Ute, and back to the family business it was, and the rest is history.
That's awesome. Oh, he really did a great job there. That was well thought through.
He knew the trigger point.
That's awesome. So my next question is, what was the aha moment that led to Horizon? But was that it, the V8, or?
That was the return journey. I mean, as growing up in the business, it's always been part of for a long time, part of our family and part of the makeup and stuff that we've been involved with. That was the return part of the journey. But really, and I love what we do. Every day is not necessarily enjoyable, but what we do and what we deliver, really when you can travel the length of the country, and the examples are from Queenstown to the far north, we work in beautification so that people are happy with what we do when we finish, so it's a really feel good job.
Yeah, that's cool, I like that. Any advice that you would have given your younger self, or one thing you wish you knew when joining Horizon full time, managing it?
Don't take the ute. Don't take the no jokes. Really, I suppose when I entered it, is really get stressed, or don't get stressed, but take on board the things that you can alter, that you can change. We deal in a lot of international freight. Whilst it's terrible now, it's always been a little bit challenging, a little bit hit and miss, and I used to really get wound up when shipments would run late, freight wouldn't happen like it was meant to happen, and really take it on my shoulders and take it personally. As I now say to people, it's when things run late, you can get upset, you can yell and scream, get it all off your chest, but at the end of the day the boat won't be here. So you can deal with what you can do. It's like the weather, get upset about the things you can change, and then just deal and manage the things that you can't.
Has that been a real big process for you, like learning how to just be okay with things outside of your control?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. Even now, sometimes when things run late, you just have to remind yourself that you've done everything that you did correctly.
What else can you do?
What else can you do exactly except keep people informed, do your best to make sure and manage the situation.
No, it's good advice. It's really cool. What's been a highlight and a challenge from the journey, and any learnings with those?
We have highlights. Well, I have highlights really every year. We just did a supply contract for Invercargill Council. It was 4,000 metres. It's been the biggest one we've been involved with for a while, but it'll be stage one of rebuilding the whole inner sanctum of Invercargill. It's fantastic. So between that stuff that we're working on for Auckland City Council, it's really that sort of stuff where I take a lot of pride in. Whangarei, we just did Town Basin, which is a beautiful beautification project up there. Council's wrapped, we're wrapped with the way it's come up. Public feedback has been great. So that sort of thing really, as I say, it gives me pleasure and pride to be involved in things that deliver that sort of outcome.
Yeah, that's so cool. And a challenge at the moment? Or along the journey?
Challenge, I'd say, like every business owner at the moment, is staff. Getting them, keeping them. Freight, international freight is just a continual moving target. I had a meeting with a guy from MSC, who's one of the big shipping lines, who prices have finally stabilised. But at the time I said to him, why do your prices go up every 2 weeks? And his answer was, we take bookings, we put the price up. If we get more bookings, we put the price up. And if we get more bookings, we put the price up. And I looked at him with somewhat shock and awe, and he looked at me and said, well, that's the way it is. So those sorts of things are a little bit challenging because it's hard to keep ahead of that sort of model, but it is
life right now.
The best coin phrase from any business owner, it is what it is.
It is what it is. There's so much weight in that saying, it is what it is.
That saying is very rarely attached to anything good. It's dealing with bad.
That's true. What motivates you to get up in the morning, and what does a day in the life of Nathan look like? I know you do a lot of travel and all that sort of thing, but a normal day.
A normal day, I'm normally here 7ish. Here 7 till 6. My dog's normally with me in the office, so sometimes during the day I'll get out and take a walk down the beach for half an hour, take him down for a walk. Apart from that, it's extremely varied really, because it could be anything from just doing tenders and quotes to dealing with freight stuff to doing architectural presentations to anything in the middle really.
Any favourite part of it?
Architectural presentations are great because I enjoy interacting with the guys that do our bread and butter.
Yeah.
Deliver the specifications. So getting out, having a chat about what we do, and I know we've got some amazing products. So to show these guys what we can do and learn about jobs that they're involved with is exciting because that's the next part of the pipeline, really.
Yeah, no, that's cool to hear. I like that. How did you first hear of the Icehouse, and what led you to saying yes to being on the owner manager program?
Bad confession, but I can't remember the gentleman's name who's just resigned from Wellington.
Chris.
Chris, yeah. So Chris came and called on me.
Yeah.
And I knew with my father's, exit from the business, I have a lot of skills around the sales side, and it was really about upskilling around the owner side of the business.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah.
Still work to do.
Yeah.
But don't think that'll ever stop.
Yeah. Totally. So was there anything that was it I guess for you, you're good at what you do, you're good at sales stuff, and then for you it was like, okay, I need to learn the business growth, the business strategy, the business planning. Is that what got you over the line for the program?
Yeah, I mean there's so many different facets as per the introduction stuff on the course. There's so many other different avenues as well. I mean, sales is obviously fundamental to any business, but the management of whether it's the staffing side to everything really. Even at the moment we're doing commercial construction law seminar things as well, because again another moving field. As I say, it's endless really, and it was just to keep trying to add on those skills.
Yeah, cool. That's great. How do you sum up that owner manager program experience, and were there any key takeaways that you took from the experience itself?
Nothing really, there was no, as you'd say, aha moment. The whole thing was fantastic, and there was just continual learnings out of it, and there's things which, whilst you get busy, you'll reflect on it and just continually try and add these things into your business. Even to the degree of the conference last week, going back and hearing things like the metaverse stuff. Yeah. Just mind blowing. And I think I like technology, but that nothing ever stands still, and nothing, it's always learning. Yeah,
totally. Yeah, great thought. Have you implemented anything into your lifestyle since the program?
Not as much, to be fair. Yeah, I mean the learnings around the health and the sleep and all that sort of stuff is something that I'm definitely working on. And as I suppose we get more embedded, I get more embedded in the role and try and give myself a bit more step back time, there will be more time to implement more of the learnings. It's just been a pretty full-on time.
Totally. Yeah, some people say I had one aha moment and that was it for me, that was the biggest thing, and then other people like yourself say I picked up little things along the way. Some people really hone into the lifestyle stuff, some really into the business strategy, so it's just really interesting to hear where the focus is and where people get most out of it.
There was heaps of stuff, and I'll probably go back and do the numbers course as well.
Yeah, cool, knowing your numbers.
Knowing your numbers, because again that's, whilst I have an overarching understanding, some of the stuff that was in the course was just what's it called, gross margins and the importance and all the rest of it, and how it all flows down with stuff. As a younger guy, you take for granted, you sell heaps of stuff, you put money in the bank and carry on, but some of the importance of actual numbers,
that's great to know. Nice. How important is community and the business network to you, and what do you do to stay connected?
I mean, business is people. That's what it comes down to. At the end of the day, you can have the best product in the world, if you scream it from the rooftop and you can't deal with people. Saying that, if you've got an IT business that never talks to people, great, but ours is definitely not one of those. We deal too much with people and feelings and tactile stuff that it's all about people and it's all about relationships. I like, that's when you asked about how important, and one of my better things, going out and dealing with architects, that style of stuff. Without that, you don't have a business, because those relationships and guys that first think of you. I'm doing a paved area, we had a guy today doing a skate park. Cool, I'm doing this. What kind of options can you put forward? Bang, 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 bang. And the theory being, out of those, one will get selected, and that's business.
You're working with really creative minds, and that means that it's very personal to them. You know, it's a personal project. These people pour their hearts into these projects. How do you find that?
It's great, because if it's like us, if you don't care about it, you're in the wrong job.
Totally.
And my partner always, when we first got together, she said, "What are you doing?" We'd go on holiday and I'd be staring at the ground.
That's cool.
Just, I don't know if it's good or great, but now she also does the same thing, but that's what drives you, because you're looking and she couldn't understand. Originally I'd be on my knees feeling textures and stuff on the ground. And,
it's passionate about it.
Yeah, well, if you don't, as I say, if you don't love it, you'll never be great at it. And
Yeah, totally. It'd be inspiring as well, working with people, just pouring their heart and soul into projects. It'd be
and the ability to have, like we did some of the stuff, or the front entrance way of Nelson Airport.
Oh yeah. No.
It's patterns, and it's that sort of stuff where like you roll into town and you go, "Oh, cool, what do you do?" "Oh, I do a little bit of paving." And funny enough, some of my mates, sometimes when you're in meetings, they go, "Mate, you're understating it a little bit." What do you mean? Well, around New Zealand we would have supplied 1 million square metres, so we're probably one of only a couple of companies that have done that sort of numbers around New Zealand.
Incredible.
So end to end, country wise, it inspires you, because you can drive from Queenstown to Kaitaia, and as you drive through towns, that's us. And
that's so cool.
But
that's something to be proud of. That's awesome.
Yeah, well, it's great, and it's the people you work with on these projects. Again, you're right, they do, and they throw themselves into it, and it's great for us to be able to have some small part of assisting and lending our knowledge and experience into those things to make sure, aesthetically it's a good outcome, but also structurally.
Totally. The IT stuff makes more sense, actually, because it would be very, there'd be lots of numbers and math in what you do too, right?
Weirdly enough, I didn't love math when I was at school, and when I was in dive instructing, after 4 years, I would say, of numbing my brain, I went back and did some advanced calculus sort of stuff so I could do computer tech and accounting papers in university.
Yeah.
Holy chill.
You're like, what have I done? Take me back to diving.
4 years of blowing bubbles underwater and other activities. It was mildly challenging, but good, rewarding.
That's awesome. Last question. Been really cool chatting with you. What does the future look like for Horizon International, and what excites you most about it?
We have, and it's interesting, when we sat down and we went through opportunities that were available still to the business, and one thing I looked at, and as you put it down on paper, we have got acres of room to grow. We've got so many, and there's probably a dozen different angles that we can go for growth in the business. I think I said at the moment we're looking new machinery purchases, we're looking at new resellers of the product, we're looking at different product lines that we can bring. So my probably next couple of years, 3, 4, 5 years, I'd like to double the size of the business.
Wow, yeah.
Really get stuck in and just get an increased presence around New Zealand. We're actually starting to do some export into Australia as well.
Yeah.
So we've got the first 2 export jobs that are, one's sitting in Melbourne now, going in the ground, which is the New South Wales Hospital. Victorian Heart Hospital, sorry.
Yeah.
And the other one's Bendigo Law Courts, which is currently under production. So, it's we brought a bit of machinery 7 years ago from Melbourne, who were the biggest terrazzo manufacturers, and it's left a bit of a glut. So we get now some of the overflow inquiry from that coming. Funnily enough, it does bring joy to my heart, getting called by Australians with their machinery to turn it around and send it back to Australia. So a bit of export stuff as well. I'd like to think we can get involved in a lot more of that.
Awesome, that's really exciting. That's really, really cool. Well, it's been really nice sitting in your office in Wellington, getting to know more about what you guys do.
Thank you.
Appreciate you sharing, your story, your journey. Really cool angle, being in family owned, family business too. So exciting days ahead, and it's cool to hear about it.
Plenty to keep us out of trouble. Thank you for coming and seeing us.